It's time to go home and to make a super cake to celebrate 7 years on keto. Hi guys, from Barbara and welcome to my ketogenic channel. Today I will prepare a recipe that many of you asked me for, the tiramisu. That's a very famous dessert in Italy and I prepared it at the beginning of this channel a few years ago, and it was really delicious, but it was not a true tiramisu because I show you only the cream. The cream is definitely keto, you only need to change the sugar with the sweetener, but the difficult part is the hard part of the tiramisu. Today I will show you a complete 100% delicious ketogenic tiramisu. Let's go together to prepare it. As I told you, we are not going to prepare only the cream but also the cake, and these are the ingredients for the cake: 100 grams of almond flour, 1 tablespoon of erythritol or your favorite sweetener, 1 tablespoon of instant coffee, and 2 eggs. Let's start by putting the 2 yolks and the 2 egg whites in 2 different bowls. For this cake, we will use both parts. But for the egg white, it's very important to whip them separately because only in that way you will have a firmly whipped whites. And it's also important not to have any drop of yolks into the whites. So let's use an electric mixer and let's whip these egg whites. After, we will whip also the yolks together with the erythritol. And to give this cake a more tiramisu flavor, we will add also instant coffee because, as you know, true tiramisu is not just mascarpone and eggs, but also espresso coffee. And I have to tell you that for this recipe, you shouldn't have granulated instant coffee, but powdered. I only had granulated, so I used the trick to put the granulated into my blender. And that's an easy tip to make it instant powdered coffee. Sorry for my English. As usual, you can put it faster because my English is slow and not perfect, as you know, but this recipe is totally worth it. And now that our yolks are perfectly mixed together with the erythritol, it's better also to have a powdered erythritol, so the cake will be more fluffy and you will not feel the granulated when you eat it. But if you have only the granulated, it's okay. You can blend it too and make it powdered, but you can use it also granulated. It's not a big deal. Then now that, as I told you, we mix the yolks, the erythritol and the coffee, we can incorporate the almond flour and mixing by hand also the egg whites. Don't worry if the whites unwhip a little bit because this is a heavy cake and the whites are fluffy but not very strong, so it will be perfect after baking it. So just mix by hand and then it's ready to go into the oven. But talking about baking, there are 2 important things. The first one is that your oven should be preheated at 200 degrees Celsius, that are approximately 400 degrees Fahrenheit. And then you should choose the right plate, baking plate, because you should have two very thin cakes exactly the same size. If you have two plates that are the same size, you are lucky. I have only one. This one is 15 centimeters for 15 centimeters. It's a square. I don't know how to translate centimeters, so just Google it. I'm sorry. And it will be perfect for 4 slices of tiramisu. We are 4 in our family, so it will be perfect. 15 centimeters. But before putting our cake, I will cover it with parchment paper, so it will be easier to take out my cake. While the two cakes are baking half an hour each, we have the time to prepare the cream. Today we will not go for the walk after the recipe because it's a long recipe and because I would like to put you the cakes I prepared the previous years for our keto anniversary. But here are the other ingredients. For the cream, 3 eggs, 1 tablespoon of erythritol and 250 grams of mascarpone. And to finish our tiramisu, 2 espresso coffees and some powdered cacao. I will do my best to explain you how I prepare the tiramisu cream, but I forgot to turn on the telephone, so I didn't record that part. The first thing you should do is to separate the yolks, the 3 yolks from the 3 whites, and that's recorded. And then you should whip the egg white very firmly, and you should also whip after the egg yolks together with the erythritol. Then you add the mascarpone, mix the yolks, the erythritol and the mascarpone, and finally you put the egg whites, mixing by hand, no more electrical mixer. So that's it, super easy. But now both cakes are ready and we can assemble our tiramisu. And for that we need also 2 espresso coffee to wet the cake with the coffee and make it even more full of flavor. And now we use the lasagna technique. We will make layers. The first one is the cake. Then we will put the cream. And a second tip that is truly important when you will cut the tiramisu is to cut it before. The third layer, the other cake, the second cake, it will be already cut in 4 pieces. So when you cut the final tiramisu, you will not push too hard the cake and the cream will not fall out and it will not be a disaster. Now the second espresso coffee for the second cake. Then I will tell you another super tip, because if you cut it when it's very cold, it will not be destroyed. So now we will put cake, cream, cut cake, other cream, and then into the fridge to become it very, very cold for the final presentation and even more cream on top. I hope I explain it well. At least you have the video now. I didn't forget to record it, so I think it will be easy to prepare this cake. But now let's go back to the recipe. As you can see, as you can notice, the light is very different because it's the sunset. I left the tiramisu quite a while into my fridge and also a few minutes into the freezer to get it a very hard and cold tiramisu. Now I can take it out of the mold, as you can see, without breaking it, and then I'm ready to cut it and to add the extra cream on top. It's a super easy recipe. Everybody will love it because it's a 100% true Italian tiramisu. But now let's finish it with the topping. But we will do it on individual plates, so it will be cleaner and nicer. But talking about plates, these are new and I love them. I bought them in H&M, that is a Swedish shop. They have now also not only the clothes but also the home part, and they are made by Diane von Furstenberg, a very elegant design that I like. So if you have an H&M home, go and give a look. They don't pay me, of course, for telling this. It's just that I love presentation and I love to share with all of you what I like. I hope you like them too. Usually I never taste on camera, but this is truly irresistible. As I told you, I put cacao on top, that's the traditional topping, but you can also try this recipe with cinnamon, vanilla, cardamom, instant coffee on top. It will be delicious anyway. I really hope you liked today's recipe and you will consider subscribing to my channel. So we will meet here every Monday at 2 o'clock Italian time with another ketogenic video in English, but also on Wednesday with the same video in Spanish and on Friday in Italian. Thank you all, and thanks to all the people that watch my videos in the 3 languages. You make me very happy. And these are all the cakes I prepare to celebrate every year on the 21st of September, our keto anniversary. They start from number 2 because on the first year I didn't have Instagram. This started later. So I hope you enjoy. You will find all the recipes on my YouTube playlist for dessert, but also on my Instagram. Thank you all and have a lovely and sweet day.